if you like. I think that our politicians should give us a lot to cheer. Don't you think?
I think so too, but it ends at that. Mm. All I can read into this tribal agitation is that the race for the next governorship election in Kogi State has started, despite the fact that we just had a new man installed. That's the point. Because
you are talking raw politics.
Yeah, it's just politics. Okay. Pure politics. The area of concern to me is we've had an election. Some people are still in court. Can't seem to separate politicking from governance. The 4-year tenure of the president or of any governor is usually seen as all around politicking, not governance. Because if it was all about governance, it is not now that we should be talking about tribalism.
To you, it's too early in the day?
It's too early, because what has happened is the past governor, like I've said a couple of times on this program, did his homework well and knew that the only way the All Progressive Congress could remain in power was by retaining the governorship slot in the central zone from where he hails from. And that paid off completely for the APC, because if it had moved elsewhere, they would not have been able to get the kind of support they got from the central, which from where other parties picked their own deputy governorship candidates. Yeah. So it was like, we prefer that no matter how big the bottom of our child is, she's still our own. Let's stay in. And that won the election for them. But people are not seeing beyond politicking again. They want to continue along that line. But what we should do as a country are some of the things that are happening now strategically in some states and at the federal level. We had the Muslim ticket. It worked in the last election. The only time we saw it get that kind of massive acceptance was the Abiola Babagana Kingibe ticket. After that, it had always been, you must balance it. Okay. Then we got to the point where you see in some states, once a senatorial district produces the governor, they will say, wait until another one. But in some states, those things have been rubbished because they knew where the voting power resides. Yeah. So some parties that are smart enough, they remain there and they get what they want. So we should get to the point where we're able to understand that Nigerians no longer deserve leaders based on ethnic or tribal affiliation. Yeah. We need people who can deliver. Because that's basically what we are doing to ourselves.
Yusuf, and what they say in politics is this. The trouble the politician should fear is the one he does not see coming. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah.
And that is why the politician always wants to dominate, always wants to...
predominate the environment.
Dedominate, that is it. Always want to, determine the direction of the narrative. Always want to frame things in a way that will fetch, that will, do their interest. He mentioned about retaining ticketing. So if it is about just getting the votes, is it about competence or just getting the votes? We need to define what we want in Nigeria. You get what I'm saying? The other time we had presidential election, the APC said, based on competence. You get what I'm saying? If this works very well, we may never again bother about whether it's a...
Where are you from?
But if it doesn't work, nobody will be able to try it for a very long time again.
Yeah.
But our prayer is it works. But at some state level, you now see a Muslim, I think when Erufa was there, despite the configuration of Kaduna, he got to a point, Muslim. I think
he came out clearly and said it. That's the configuration that can win the election for them. Those in Zango, Kataf, and the rest, they should just accept it that way. Because it's in Nigeria, it's about politics. That's the point you are making.
But
it's about politics.
But I'm adding that it shouldn't just be about politics.
Exactly.
We have gargantuan problems everywhere. We should look for the capable ones that can help deliver.
Yeah.
Because the problems are multifaceted,
yes,
and we don't seem to get serious to solve them. How long would you be playing politics of
and even in the case of Kogi State, when you throw it all down, you ask yourself, from all those on the field for the last election, who can we say is better than the incumbent?
All right.
It's a big question.
Gentlemen, let's move to our next story. But for the Kogi scenario, I'm glad the youths have found their voices.
That's the right thing to get. It's a good thing.
It's good.
So we're getting somewhere, if you ask me.
I don't think so, but at least we are talking.
Okay. For our next story, let's talk money. Foreign exchange reserves are simply assets held on reserve by a monetary authority of a country in foreign currencies. One happy news reaching us has it that our foreign reserves have increased significantly by $520 million, from $520 million to $32.6 billion in the past 1 month. According to the latest figures, the reserves, which stood at $32.1 billion on April 17th, steadily rose to $32.6 billion by the 16th of May. So this monthly rise is a reflection of improved foreign exchange earnings for the country. Doctor, it can only get better.
We pray so.
And work so.
And
not just pray
so. No, that's the second leg I was going to add. We pray so that it gets better. But we have to work.
To make it better.
It has gone beyond permutation now. We all know that the respect, let's even leave the economy away out now. The respect you get from others is dependent solidly on what your bank account is saying. Even as individuals, if your bank account is not talking, nobody will know you are somewhere. You must get to a point where, as a country, you are sure that if there is a disaster, whether man-made or natural, you have the shock absorber. I'm happy we are talking about this, but can we do some comparison? Number one, to other countries that we can say in Africa, and other third world countries we can say all over the world. Are we getting at par with them? Are we at the same level? Number two.
And for that matter, can we do more than we're doing?
Yes. Number two is that what we have in now, the means by which we got it, is this sustainable? Because this is like we are looking at 1 month. Can we sustain it?
Yeah.
Without going into that reserve to go and pull again when we have issues? Because if we do not have a means of sustaining it, nobody is going to tell us kudos based on this forever. It will only be for a while. While we are praising the government, we all know, and it has been established, that the only way in which you can build your economy sustainably is by becoming a production nation, a manufacturing, a productive one.
Being productive.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are not manufacturing now. We are not producing. And if maybe we know the actual sources from which these funds came, we might be able to say, okay, was it from the fact that Dangote refinery is now doing diesel locally? Where are the sources from which we got it?
If
it's from sale, yes, if it's just from sale of crude and all the rest, then we have not arrived. If it is from the taxes that were imposed on people during this period, we have not arrived, because even the World Bank told us that you can't sustain an economy on taxes.
Yeah, Kunle, but when each time I get told the largest market is in Nigeria, you look at our potential, economic potential, we are not acting like that biggest market in Africa. What runs through your mind?
Well, we don't seem to know that we even have potentials.
Okay.
The way we run our country, we don't seem to know. And this is not restricted to this government over the years.
Over time.
Over time. But you must bring it to the point that whatever is happening now, I've seen economists, who think or who believe that the combination of policies of this government, like, removal of fuel subsidy and the unification of the exchange rate.
Yeah.
That these two things...
Maybe floating the naira?
That's what we meant. No, it's not. There's nothing like floating the naira.
The naira is sitting down, it's not floating.
Forget that. That's a term that... So, the two policies seem to be yielding positive, results.
Yeah.
And what we are now seeing, apart from these two, you see this government is working very hard in blocking leakages here and there, and you will see shift, even though it's slow, towards, revenue generation away from oil. You can see, from taxes, from this, from all that they are doing.
So I wish we would take advantage of our Greek potential.
And we will get it. When you look at some of this, they seem to be yielding positive, but we can't clap now because it's just 1 month that we're seeing. So what are the benefits of this? Because that's important. Having big foreign exchange, Dr. was saying that even at individual level, if your bank account is not screaming, you won't have the coolness of mind to brag, to do normal stuff. And that is also for a nation. We need, with this, it will boost investors' confidence.
Yeah.
Foreign investment, foreign direct investment, foreign portfolio investment. You will see the economy, their confidence, because economy is about confidence anyway.
Yeah.
It will boost it. We will need to borrow money from anywhere in the world, so it will improve our credit worthiness. And some of these things we need to fund development projects like, FT construction, works that we still need to do, and so many other things. So when we take a look at this, if we can sustain this over a period of 6 months, the positive effect of this will cascade and people will start talking. But for now, the problems still persist because the unemployment rate, as we have it, is alarming. The level of hunger in our country only got...
Mention exchange rate too.
Because we are a dollarized country.
The CBN is
by choice.
The CBN is working very hard in that aspect. Every day I look at the man, Cardoso, I say, I can never envy this man. His job is a very tough one. He's doing it. But we haven't seen the desired, effects that we want to see.
Yeah.
But hopefully within the short time, maybe things will change, you know, in the way we want. But this is something that we need to sustain. Just as Jotun pointed out, the government should just look beyond just wanting to get congratulated or praises and look at what exactly contributed. It's from oil, no doubt, but what can we do to sustain this? Because the money we get from our crude oil, we can get much more. We can reduce oil theft.
Yeah.
It's a big problem to our economy. It's an embarrassment to this country. We are not the only country in the world where God has given us that kind of resources.
Yeah.
But in Nigeria, how much of it is stolen, we don't know up to today. How much of it is sold, how much of it is this. So everything is shrouded in secrecy. And when you claim that you want to privatize this, you want to unbundle this, you realize that it is the same. Just like when we say when things change, they still remain, you know, the same.
Same, yeah.
For that sector, we haven't made any progress as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, the French have that saying, the more things change, the more they remain the same. But Doctor, the man on the street wants to feel this thing getting down to his table, you know. He can afford a square meal.
That's what Nigerians want.
Yeah.
But let me quickly add to what he said. In terms of what helped us with revenue, the Auditor General of the Federation said it. She said, tax is the highest revenue and for Nigeria now. So, who are we taxing?
The rich or the poor? Or the middle class?
Even when you tax the rich, it cascades to the poor. If you tax the man who is paying salaries to people, then you are limiting his capacity to be able to pay and to be able to increase. You are limiting the capacity. So,
and something gives.
It must, definitely. It must. It's either you sack, you reduce salary, or you remain at the same level despite the worsening economy. You can't run away from it. And that's why it's important that all of these things, we must get to understand them and feel what the people on the streets are feeling. You increase cost of electricity. The man who is a vulcanizer will increase the cost of pumping your tire. There is no tire now, no matter how small it is. Even if it's Keke Marwa tire, the small one, you will pay at least 1,000 if the thing goes down. To reflate, if it loses air, is 200 minimum. For the cars, I'm even saying for Marwa,
nobody does 200 again.
Now you go to cars, you say 500. Your tire goes down, it's punctured, you are talking of about 2,000. So when all of these things happen, it comes down. Sometimes we feel we are taxing the rich. No, we are not. Because as we are doing it, things are getting worse. Even for the ordinary man who is driving down for, sometimes you see people trekking.
Yeah.
A few times in the last 1 week, I've had cause to take Marwa. You see, there was the one I saw yesterday was a man who stopped Marwa, and the man said, "Beggar, 200," and he showed him 100 naira. And the man said, "Enter," because he knew at that point that man was walking.
Yeah.
So something gives.
Dotun and Adekunle, we must make some money too.
Very important.
Let's go on a commercial break. We should be back very shortly. Please stay with us.
The Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Bala Abubakar, on behalf of officers, airmen, airwomen, and civilian staff of the Nigerian Air Force, is pleased to invite the general public to the 60th anniversary celebration of the Nigerian Air Force. Activities marking the celebration include conference and exhibition of heads of African Air Force chiefs under the 3rd African Air Forces Forum with the theme leveraging strategic partnership in aerospace innovation for regional security, to be hosted by the Nigerian Air Force from 23rd to 24th May 2024 at the International Conference Center, Abuja. Aerial displays and ceremonial parade holds on 25th of May 2024 at NAF Base, Kaduna. Other activities include medical outreaches, Jumat prayers, interdenominational church service, combat sports, NAF R&D competition, among others. Special guest of honor, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, Nigerian Air Force, willing, able, ready.
Okay then, folks, welcome back. Let's go to our next story. You know, organized labor has again rejected the 54,000 naira proposed by the federal government as a new minimum wage for workers, federal workers in the country. Labor insists it will result in income reduction for federal workers who are already receiving 77,000 naira every month. Now, the 54,000 naira proposed by the government aligns with that of organized private sector, OPS. We do not necessarily always agree, but hopefully we make each other think. And that's what matters, Kunle. Labour has rejected the figure. So it provokes the question, where do we go from here?
I think the government can do better.
Okay.
I want the kind of minimum wage that will reflect the economic realities of our country. Can that buy a bag of rice? I mean, local rice.
No. Do you want the minimum? You want
I'm not saying government will pay 600 and whatever that labor is demanding. But
so, but you don't ask for an enhanced monthly wage because you are aiming at buying a bag of rice. No.
Please, you got my message and don't trivialize this.
Am I trivializing?
That's what you're saying.
I'm not.
I'm trying to tell you that the government can do far, far better.
Better than 54,000.
Please, you need to see what is happening in town. Go to the market and see for yourself. You are lucky you are a grandfather now, and most of the issues some of young ones like us still battle with, you are out of that. It's not easy. Feeding alone for a family of husband, wife, and maybe perhaps 2-3 children.
Is a tall order.
Very, very tall. So when this government came in, how much was the price of a bag of rice, a bag of beans, a bag of gari? What was the price of petrol? And so on and so forth. When you now tabulate that, you should be able to have a more reasonable offer. Labor will always, it's in their character to be over
to ask
for more. But at least let the government do what the public will see as a reasonable offer. So much that you can take the sale out of the usual gra that Labour can do. No, and Labour is saying this, that, okay, you are putting this on the table. Not even documents, data to back anything. You get what I'm saying? If I tell you I cannot pay more than this, then these are the reasons. This is what comes in, this is what comes out, this is what this is. And you can't, and some of these guys in the Labour too are not new to the system. They know what is going on. I'm not speaking for Labour, but the government, as far as I, in my opinion, needs to do something better. Look at the organized private sector. Labour is saying that even what is being proposed, in the average minimum wage in the organized private sector is much higher than that. I think 78, or more, I don't know what they said, whether that is true or not. So when we put all of this together, for an issue we have wasted so much time, I'm not happy that we have not made progress.
Yeah, Dotun, consider this. there's a school that is contending that Labour should rather have asked for government to do something about the national currency, saving the national currency.
Well,
do you understand what I'm saying?
Save the national currency.
Making sure the exchange rate is...
like we said just a while ago here, you can't do anything about your exchange rate unless you are productive.
Okay.
You can't.
So
the level of income you are able to earn from selling what you have is what will determine the strength of your currency.
Yeah.
It is not about using the money that we have to back it up, because we've been on that issue that the sudden drop in exchange rates at some point, was it as a result of saving it with the money that we have? We've had that conversation. But the most important thing is we must start the process that can help us to recover. For me, also as a small employer of labor,
okay,
I came to a conclusion about 2 months ago that the minimum you can pay a worker for the person to be able to survive at certain level is 200,000 naira. When you look at all the factors around us, cost of housing, transportation, building,
electricity,
all of those. So, while government is putting more burdens on the people, government should also expect a reaction from that people to make a demand of them. It is not a one-way traffic in this systems. My thought was that the federal government and the states should have tried to sustain the wage award until when we put certain things in place.
Yeah, Dotun,
yes,
federal workers are not as many as state workers across the country.
I agree with you.
Many states are still unable to pay
the one that is
agreed,
and that's where I'm going, sir.
Okay,
that's where I'm going, sir.
Let's go.
That, you see, a lot of things that we need to put in place.
Yeah.
We're not putting them in place before we started putting more burdens on the people. For instance, is it possible that if our refineries are all working, that we can reduce the cost of petrol? It's a yes.
Okay.
Why are they not working? Why did we not wait as a government to ensure that the CNG buses and the gas stations we are talking about, where you can convert your vehicles into gas, which is even no longer cheap? Go and check in the last 2 weeks how much gas is, which is even no longer cheap. Why did we not wait for those buses to become functional so that the cost of transportation can go down?
Yeah.
Why did we not wait?
Before
we stop the wage award.
Okay.
Before we stop it, because if we look at it, it will not be only the government workers that will be benefiting from it. I've asked myself, and people have asked also, where are the trains in Nigeria taking us to? In other climes, the bulk of workers go on their journeys on train. But somebody has also asked me, and which is a very valid question, even Lagos that we hail, how many people can that train serve? In the sense that it's just on a single track. But if you get that train right, and you get the CNG buses that can link you from that train station to your small area, it saves you a lot. We can do cheaper means of transportation. Because if you look at all of the arguments, they are doable. If you look at all of the arguments, I saw one on a platform by Labour people. Top on that list is petrol. Top on the list. So it means if we tackle petrol issues around petrol, I don't need to go and start my generator.
Okay.
I don't need to put my car on the road. I came here now from Mogba. I should be able to get a train from Mogba that would maybe stop me around the old show gates for me to walk in here. But I had to drive. I went to Badagry last week. Yes, the roads are better, but I would have preferred to go on the train journey to Badagry. It would have saved me the about 30, 40 liters of fuel I had to put in the car. I wouldn't have paid more than maybe the cost of 5 liters of fuel to go by train and come back. So these are the things we should begin to pay attention to before we start putting pressure on the people. If this wage award is still going, if it's possible to reinstate it, we should. So that when the CNG buses, when the trains become fully functional, we can begin to talk to people. I've mentioned it here before. A train ride from Lagos to Ibadan is about 4,000 naira. That doesn't make sense. Because I can actually go to Ojota bus station and take a public bus that is not safe for me for less. So it has not served me. The government has only served people it wants to serve. It doesn't drop me exactly where I want to go. The road from the Abeokuta station into town is bad. The one from in Ibadan into town is not good as such. It's just been done a bit. So we need to get priorities right.
Yeah, Dr. But as I said, both labor and government need to meet somewhere in the middle.
Yes,
it is possible.
It is very possible. And that's why I said, number one, let government go back to this wage award until when certain things give.
Yeah.
Because you can't say to somebody who is on a salary of about 77,000 now because of the wage award that the person should come and take 48,000 from you.
Or 54.
Or 54. It doesn't add up. Because we know that 54 will finish before you transport yourself to and from the office.
The other day, the same government was talking about, doing something massive about the remuneration of judges. And they frame it that all of us benefit if they do that. That when judges are poorly remunerated, all of us lose. Yeah. Maybe something similar should go to the civil servants. And corruption will increase, stealing and all sorts of things among them, because when you pay me a wage that cannot, take me to the bus stop, you are asking them. Already we complain a lot about corruption among civil service and all that. Now, with this offer, you talk about meeting in the middle for somebody who is asking for over 600 and the other party offering 54. Is there any middle in that?
The middle is far. But the
middle is a million miles away.
In terms of corruption, I think people are corrupt not because they receive little wages, but because they want to. If you work in a place and you feel the salary is not good
did you get
enough,
that?
Yes, you walk away. But you walk away. It's a way of life. Even when things appear to be good, we've always known that the civil service.
There are people who will still. That's a fact. But we are saying where is the middle ground that you are talking about? There's still a lot. Then this idea that we must, conquer. The way we federalize Nigeria, everything. The man who works in Lagos as a federal civil servant or whatever, is not paying the same rent as the man in Sokoto. It's not buying the same bag of rice as the
situations are different.
We are the only country where this is done. And we are not the only country in the world. If we want to go by the global best practices, we need to decentralize ourselves. The way we run Nigeria, it can't work the way we are going. It cannot work. And go to the US. You will see that at the federal level, the minimum wage is always small. Then you see a place like Washington, like this, like that, having times 3, times 4, some as far as times 6 of the federal, and they don't do federal minimum wage. But they don't do their own minimum wage per month as we do. It's per hour. So go and see. If you see what the federal government of America, puts forward as minimum wage, you will feel embarrassed when you now look at some of the states. You now ask that somebody is like a baby, the other one is like a grandfather.
No.
So many states.
Yusuf, you are converting. You contributing
no,
for
but
me.
no. even in two states that are side by side, New York and
New Jersey.
you find that there is disparity. That's why you see people who work in New York and they earn good pay. They go and stay in Jersey.
So
we need that way.
We don't need to put the state governments under any pressure. No.
All right.
It will do its own negotiation based on, and without waiting for the federal government. Now all the state governments are waiting. Let's see what the government.
I even like the idea that was brought last week. Let us pay you according to what you do. It's not just because we have put you in this office. You are an accountant, then we must pay you as somebody who has ICANN certificate.
Then
what are you doing?
Have we discussed the right size of the civil
service so that we can pay them well?
No. Have you gone to our public offices? You see people littering the whole space. Many of them
You are reminding me of the Oronsai.
You see a lot of waste.
You don't want to go.
A lot of waste in the public service.
Okay. I think we are done on this subject matter. But my trouble is when a meeting is in progress over these things we are discussing, Dotun Kunle, and then Labour pulls out. It is not helping itself.
It's a strategy.
And
you are not an
alutama.
No, you are not a negotiation expert. So many of them are so trained in the whole thing. When you see the government, sticking to, what government is offering. The first one was
if the negotiators stone walls and the big boy in the negotiation stone walls.
Go ask us who knows how to work very well.
Okay. Well, this is just about it regarding Labour and federal government over the minimum wage issue. The debate will continue in your part of town. But let's go to our last story. Sometimes you wonder when having a disagreement or dispute, can both parties be wrong? Can both parties be wrong when there's a dispute or a disagreement? A disturbing news is that both the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, and the federal government may be heading for another showdown over an acceptable salary payment platform, as well as the constitution of new governing councils for universities. The Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Maman, dropped the hint while addressing newsmen after the weekly Federal Executive Council meeting. Recall that whereas the government insisted on the Integrated Personnel Payment System, IPPIS, ASU stuck to the University Transparency and Accountability Solution, UTAS. Now, these problems are man-made and can only be solved by us. Dr.
In all of this, the first thing is to appeal to ASU not to go on strike.
Not to
go on strike. They should sit down and sort this out. What ASU did to us when they went on that first strike, we may not recover from it in another 40 years.
Wow.
I learned some universities still have 3 sets of students they are yet to take in. Because we recollect that they went on strike, COVID came, and then another strike.
The semester overlapped?
Overlapped.
Yeah.
So some students are home now who should have been in school about a year, 2 years ago. They are still home.
Okay.
And a lot of Nigerians, as we know, can't afford to put their kids in private university. It's killing now because you are holding piles of naira, but there's very little you can do with it. Because over time, what we have done to ourselves is we increase costs. When we get better, we are unable to bring it down. I don't see any private university now that will say, okay, because at the time that naira was this, we took it to 1.5 million, now naira is back, let's do 700,000. I doubt if that will ever happen. The only way this can happen is when we have functional and always running public universities where parents have enough confidence that if I send my child here, a 5-year course would be 5 years. So my first appeal is ASU should please not take that first option, which they always take.
We can't afford that trade.
We can't afford it. They should please not do it.
But Adekunle, let's look at the two payment systems, IPPIS and UTAS.
You know, sometimes I look at what manner of people go into government. Sometimes I get baffled.
Maybe because we are not there.
Yes, because it's not there.
Because if you really study the IPPS that the government keeps talking about as if it is a foolproof, it is excellent, there's nothing like this. No!
Okay.
It is fraught with so many abnormalities. Now, it's not meant for the academic environment. The peculiarities of the academic environment, IPPIS, cannot capture it. Some people will go on sabbatical, some people will go on visiting professorship, and so many people resign, and you need to bring another set of people in, and now. So,
what about UTAS?
UTAS was developed by ASU and submitted
in comparison to
this. They presented the loopholes in IPPIS and developed, their experts.
And you think UTAS is foolproof?
The government applauded it, but they said they didn't want to use it.
But the government also spotted loopholes in UTAS.
Yeah, is there anything that is totally...
Exactly. Nothing is totally...
The peculiarities of the university environment are captured.
Okay.
The ASU will not pay itself. It's the federal government that pays the workers. So from your end, if there's anything, the paying authority will know. You get what I'm saying? But while returning to the same issue after several years, believe me, it's still something that is baffling me. When you say you cancel this, that you do, your academic environment will say, thank God. But now you are back into the same, problem. So what have we really gained in this discourse? We debated, discussed, and over the years we are still stuck.
Yeah, Dr.
So let's that is number one.
Yeah.
Because the grievances there are many, but majorly two.
Yeah.
Governing councils.
Governing councils of universities.
The government dissolved governing councils of universities, polytechnics,
colleges of education.
Not all of them, but virtually all of them.
Federal universities.
And for about 1 year, government didn't replace.
Yeah, but
and throughout the 1 year, if you go to the universities, polytechnics, many of them are able to function because you cannot recruit, you can't do major contract. The business of running the university was totally almost dead.
Yeah, Dr. But the Minister of Education is saying government is ready.
Government is ready. It has appointed now. But the big question which ASU is raising now is, why are you going the illegal route by replacing boards that did not complete their tenure? I don't have, because we are used to this Nigerian style of doing things, I don't have any problem with appointment. But ASU raised a very fundamental question.
Can we enthrone a system?
A system that it is not when a government comes in that it must dissolve all boards. It's wrong. It is very, very wrong. These people have tenure of 4 years.
You mean the governing council?
The governing council.
Yes.
Let me use an example of one that we are still battling. The NNPC board that was headed by Senator Ifeanyi Ararume. It was dissolved. The man went to court. He won the court case. In between that thing, in between the litigation, government went and appointed another board. Another chairman for that board. There is nothing that says we cannot afford as a country to do things the right way, no matter the justification.
Yusuf, you think some of these things that happen in my country, your country, you think they are deliberate?
Of course. They are not,
really?
Oh, these are not problems from God. These are man-created problems. Look, you see, there are a lot of abnormal things, by the way we run this country, and we seem to want to normalize these abnormalities. Look at the other day, there was a man who was doing marvelously well, a federal consumer something FCC
protection.
Yeah. At a time, that man just won, courageous, bold, won 100, if I remember, and $10 million, against BAT, if I remember. You will see a lot of trade, everything. Just a week or two after winning that, it was announced that he's being
removed,
dismissed. Before people like Falana and others had to come on board to say, that's illegal. That he has fixed it, and that now it was Bayonenuga and Kulu now had to correct that no, because he didn't commit any crime, he didn't set up anything, that the government just removed it and appointed another person. And this also is tenured office.
Okay. Gentlemen, I hear we must apply the brakes here. So, Dr. Oladipo, I want to thank you very kindly for your time.
Thank you so much, Citizen.
No less so, Adekunle Yusuf. Many thanks for your time too.
I'm always glad to come.
Well, folks, I'm told by the backroom boys that's about it on the show today. But if you missed any part of it, not to worry. There's a repeat broadcast later tonight at 11, so join us then. But on Sunday, we expand the field for you from 1:30 p.m. to 3:30. And again, we are on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Citizen Jones Hussein. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye now. Take care.
Now where na dey hurry go like say something dey pursue na?
Oga landlord, na Favour wey dey sick so.
He dey hospital with Mama Favour.
Favour get diphtheria. She dey.
Shebi you dey carry her go take immunization?
Oga landlord, go.
Abi never give her vaccination before.
But since we born Favour, never carry am go collect immunization before.
Mama Favour na your friend. You no dey tell her.
I tell am. Even sef me and my husband follow you talk that time. You dey here when Joy, my sister, born. Every time he dey carry him pikin for immunization as he suppose. Even Joy follow collect him COVID vaccine that time.
Na the health of our pikins dem we dey talk for here. If dem no collect their immunization as e suppose be, na their health we dey put for danger. So you no go follow who no road.
If your pikin miss to collect any immunization, let dem go any health center to complete am. Make papa and mama dem use that chance collect dem COVID vaccine. Call 7722 for more information.
Follow who no road.
Last year was a shutdown. But this time it's going to be a night to remember. Lagos, are you ready? It's Ogbuefi live in Lagos from Onitsha to Lagos, featuring AY, Clint the Drunk, Nedu Wazobia, Senator, Funny Bone, MC Danfo, Edo Pikin, Kaboko, Sa One on One, Albino Brothers, and lots more. Musical performances by Ayi Dance, Onyeze, Spackle and many others. Venue, Eco Hotels and Suites, Lagos. Date is Sunday, 26th May 2024. Show starts by 7 p.m. Tickets regular 5,000 naira, VIP 25,000 naira, Gold table 2 million naira, Premium table 3 million naira. Tickets are available at all Urban supermarkets or visit ariatickets.com. For table reservations, please call 0703-309-9740. Supported by Taka Group, Vera Angela Solution, Vintage, Valero Champagne, Wayne Homes, ICA Properties, Cubana Group, Demaco Wine, Viper Engine Oil, and Agu.ng. This event is powered by Talk Empire and Amana Agu. Packaged by Landry Mako Event. Media partners, TVC.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV.
Tired of pans that scratch and stick? Or cookware that takes up valuable space in your kitchen and are of little to no use? Cooking used to be fun, but now it just feels like a chore. Introducing ShopX Gotham Hammered Copper Collection, the perfect cookware to upgrade your cooking experience. The Gotham Hammered Copper Collection features a super durable ultra non-stick surface. Eggs stick to other pans, but with the Hammered Copper Collection, they slide right out. Incredible! Plus, the Cool Touch solid cast handle makes it safe and easy to cook even the hottest dishes. It's oven safe up to 500 degrees, so bake this beautiful chicken stew pizza and serve it straight from the pan. Or this tasty delicious cake that will have your whole family asking for more. Any recipe can be made in these pans, and then it wipes clean with ease, so cleanup is a breeze. Plus, use your hammered copper pan to make homemade pancakes that flips and slips right out. Or make mouth-watering jollof rice or even fluffy pounder with ease, because nothing sticks.
I needed a cookware to keep up with me. The Gotham Hammered Collection has been a game changer. No more burnt meals or hours spent scrubbing pots.
The Gotham Hammered Copper Collection is now available in Nigeria exclusively from ShopX TV. You could be paying over 490,000 for a collection of pans that are not even non-stick. Call the number on your screen now and get it for just 364,950 naira. This incredible ShopX offer includes one 8.5 inches fry pan, one 10.25 inches fry pan, one 1.4 liters saucepan, one 2.4 liters saucepan, one 4.7 liters stock pot, one stainless steel steamer, 4 tempered glass lids. But wait! If you order now, we will upgrade you to the Premier Kitchen Collection at no extra charge and also include one cookie sheet, one round baking pan, one square baking pan, one loaf pan and muffin pan, and one all-in-one food processor that blends, grinds, chops, dices, pounds yam and makes smoothies in seconds. All for just 364,950 naira only. And that's not all. You can get the ShopX Premier Kitchen Collection in 2 easy payments of 182,475 naira. Place your order now and we will deliver the entire collection for free anywhere you are in Nigeria. But hurry, this exclusive ShopX TV offer is for a limited time only, so call now while stocks last. The following was a paid presentation from ShopX TV.
Nigeria's security woes are far from over, but the military remains undaunted. In an exclusive interview with TVC News, Babajide Kolade Otitoju, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, said the Boko Haram fighters have continued to surrender because they have no choice.
What the terrorists were actually doing was that they were developing a new generation of fighters that will have been more dangerous than the parents. And so we're happy and we're glad that they came out.
But has Nigeria got enough troops to defeat criminality?
If you look at troops, there is no country that has enough troops. Even the US does not have enough troops. What we want to leverage on is the use of technology and equipment.
General Musa speaks on the sometimes slow response of the armed forces to distress calls.
The terrain is a dangerous terrain. Again, no roads. Now, especially the last incident of when the school children were taken, we did not get that information until the next day. So they had enough time to do whatever it was they wanted before they left.
He vowed that the military will bring those who killed its officers and soldiers in Okwama to justice.
When the CEO himself came, he told his troops, he dropped his rifles, raised his hand and said, look, I'm here for peace. And they opened fire and killed them. That is unacceptable. We will never take that. We will follow the rules, but we'll get them.
Watch the exclusive interview on Journalist Hangout on Thursday, 24th of May 2024, only on TVC News.
Glad to have you on the program Beyond 100 Days with Abosede Adeniran Adoremi. Join the conversation on X using the hashtag Beyond 100 Days and tag TVC News NG. The protracted nature of litigations and the inefficient enforcement of law and order in Lagos State is no longer acceptable. This was the stance of the Lagos State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Lawal Pedro, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, in a press briefing on the forthcoming Lagos Justice Reform Summit. Olamide Adeyemi has more details.
Lagos, Nigeria's economic and commercial hub, has seen significant growth and development. This vibrant metropolis, combined with a diverse population, has also led to numerous legal challenges, from civil and commercial disputes to criminal justice.